popular hardcore band just broke up in the most confusing and concerning way, and I only have one question. What the fuck is up with Jesus Piece? My name is Dan Frampton, this is Punk News Now, let's talk about it. Likes and subs, let's go. So I know a lot of people might feel a little bit contentious when I call Jesus Piece a hardcore band because they started to be a death metal band but kind of morphed into this kind of weird metalcore, hardcore type thing that they ended up becoming. But for the sake of this video, since they lived and operated in and around the hardcore scene pretty much as a hardcore band, I'm gonna call them a hardcore band, okay? Their lead singer, Aaron Hurd, was known for some of the best slam dancing and mosh moves going today, and now he's gonna be known for something a whole lot more. This Aaron Hurd guy might have just damaged his hardcore reputation more than I've seen anybody do, at least this year. Kind of scumbag kind of behavior that I'm seeing here, but we do not have all the information. It is very mysterious, it is very concerning, so let's just get into it. But if you're unfamiliar with Jesus Piece, they're a band that started in 2015 in Philadelphia. Between then and 2017, they put out EPs, tapes, and splits, that kind of thing. You know, early band type stuff, and they ended up picking up a lot of steam. In 2018, they signed to Southern Lord Records, and later that year they put out their debut LP entitled Only Self. Then, in 2023, after some time went by and the whole pandemic thing happened, they put out their sophomore record called So Unknown. Personally speaking, I like the debut a lot more, but they're both solid records for what they provide. Jesus Piece had so many fans, they accumulated quite a cult following. I was never like chief among them, so I'm not gonna sit here pretending like I'm the biggest fanboy or whatever, but I am kind of surprised with how it all went down. And you might be asking yourself, well, Dan, how did it all go down? And yesterday, 16 hours ago as of recording this video here, the Jesus Piece band account on Instagram posted this picture. Jesus Piece is dead, and it only shows 3 members of the band. The lead singer, Aaron Hurd, the frontman who I was discussing earlier, is nowhere to be seen. 2015 to 2025, a good 10-year run. And then the next slide over here says the following. Jesus Piece has been dead for some time. A member quit abruptly for personal reasons, and we felt wrong continuing without him. Anything you see associated with this name or similar, playing our music and using our art, is not related to anything we worked on over the last 10 years. We are proud of everything we did, and it changed our lives forever. To try and continue that without us or in spite of us is a mockery of what we've done and tried to do. Thank you all for everything, Lou, John, and Dave. Again, Aaron's name is not signed at the bottom there, and that last line is very, very telling. What is going on? To try and continue without us or in spite of us is a mockery. Keep in mind, they say if you're using the name or anything similar to it, it's a mockery to everything that they've done as a collective band. And Aaron's nowhere to be seen. And then down in the comments, everybody's just making the same Denny's joke over and over and over again. The joke basically is, looked out the window and I saw a guy fall to his knees in a Denny's parking lot. Or something similar to that. Or I just fell to my knees in a Denny's parking lot. Very funny, guys. Very, very funny. But that would be pretty crazy, right? If Aaron Hurd ditched these 3 guys to go off and start a band by the same name with other people. That would be like the biggest scumbag move of all time, right? Well, brace yourself, ladies and gentlemen, because Aaron Hurd posted this to his stories. Oh, you're like, oh, it's a one big party festival poster over here. Young, lean, net spend. That's great. Look at the 4th line down, the first name. Oh, it looks like Jesus Piece is playing. But this time they spelled Jesus with a $sign as the first S. $sign as the first S, you say. Anything you see associated with this name or anything similar playing our music or using our art is not related to anything we worked on over the last 10 years. Jesus Piece with a $sign is very similar to Jesus Piece without a $sign. And you might be saying to yourself, hey Frampton, I don't think Aaron Hurd actually posted this poster. I think you're just pulling it up and just saying whatever. Nah, he did. I'll pull it up. Here we go. Just went to Aaron Hurd's Instagram. That's me and the homies, he's saying. That's you and the homies. I think we need a statement of some kind. I think somebody needs to tell us what happened. We don't need to know all the nitty-gritty, all the nuts and bolts of the drama, even though, yeah, that would be good to know. But what is happening? Why did your lead singer just leave the band called Jesus Piece to start another band called Jesus Piece without the members of Jesus Piece? What's happening with Jesus Piece? And they're not a small band, folks. These guys have an audience. These guys have fans. These guys have people waiting to hear them. What is going on? You're just gonna leave them all out in the lurch? Like I said, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm so heartbroken. I'm not the biggest fanboy in the world, but I can recognize a band that is big, that has a giant audience, and I can tell when an audience is being disrespected. And not only is the audience being disrespected, but all the members of the band that you've been in for the last 10 years have been disrespected. If you're gonna break up with the band and want to start a new band, go and do that. But you guys are a DIY band. The thing that you guys created, you created together. And to be like, no, I'm gonna take the Jesus Piece name now and just go do something else with it. Even if you came up with the name, even if it was like a project that you started and you assembled with different people, and there were different members along the way, which it looks like there were. Mostly it looks like an alternating bass player. You can't just go ahead and be like, I'll take this band name now for me, and I'm just gonna change the name subtly with a little $ in the middle. And then people in the comments are at least coming with stuff more interesting than I fell to my knees in a Denny's parking lot. I really like this one. Judas Piece? That's incredible. Private Trap says, not fucking with whatever this new Jesus Piece is that Aaron is trying to push. And it's important to note that Aaron Hurd on his personal page didn't mention anything about this, didn't say anything about a new Jesus Piece. So people that are just following him are like, oh, congratulations, you and your band are making big moves now. It's like, no, that's not what's happening. I think Aaron Hurd's head is getting a little bit too big for his body over here. Because here's Aaron Hurd being pictured with Toby Morse of the One Life, One Chance podcast 19 weeks ago, but people came flocking to this post to let their opinions be known as well. Brammerhammer says, complete lack of integrity. Be real and cut off the project as a whole. Jesus Piece is not only you. And then Manic Mama comes in and says, trying to carry on Jesus Piece with a slick one-letter change and an entirely different band is honestly a low blow. Hope that's not what you choose to do. You messed up, Aaron. What is happening, Brody? Why are you trying to continue the band if no one else wants to? That's so weird, bro. It's hard to say if no one else wants to. No one knows what's happening. Did Aaron leave the band? Did the bandmates say they don't want to be in the band and he took it personally? He's like, no, I'm not done with being Jesus Piece yet. I'm gonna go out there and be Jesus Piece on my own. We don't know what happened. All we know is Jesus Piece with a $ is not the same as Jesus Piece without the $, even though the lead singer is the same guy. Bro loves money, explains the $ in Jesus Piece. Good point. Mike Hardcore comes in and says, all for 30 pieces of silver, Judas Piece, side piece. It's crazy that more people are coming to Toby Morse's page over here to talk about this rather than inside the Jesus Piece post itself and inside Aaron Hurd's post itself. This is where all the discussion is happening. Toby must have woke up and been like, what the fuck is going on? Why is my shit blowing up for this? That's nice though, engagement's engagement. Rat Pack says, I am the band. But anyway, you can go through this yourself. It just goes on forever. This is where the conversation's happening. And probably also on Reddit. I didn't check Reddit. I don't like Reddit. So Aaron, that's pretty fucked up. I really want to know what's happening. I think the fans, I think the people out here deserve a little bit of transparency. Who's leaving the band? Why are you leaving the band? What's going on? Maybe if you want to start another project, start it under a new name. I don't know. Seems kind of lazy. Seems like, oh, well, I already have a built-in name. I'm just going to work with that. No, start from scratch again if Jesus Piece is dead. And brother, you built up a name for your own self. Aaron Hurd carries some weight. If you just left the band and started an Aaron Hurd project, it would have been successful. I don't know what you thought this business move was, but it does not work optically, and you might have ruined your entire reputation within the punk scene, within the hardcore DIY, whatever. I hope it was worth it. Aaron Hurd, I hope you have a terrible day, buddy, but everybody else, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, see you later, and have a good one.